been on this channel in a whole year. Over a year. No, a whole year. And I figured, why not start out the year with a bang and do something we've never done here before, which we haven't done much because I only have one video uploaded besides this one, and it's from literally a year ago. So that being said, in 2022 I rediscovered a love for reading. Okay, so I read like I think 13 books in 2022, and I'm not going to do a video over those because most of them were all like all the ones you're seeing hyped up on TikTok. Not that these are not, but mostly the ones that you see hyped up on TikTok. Y'all have already heard a million reviews over those, but guess what? I'm going to give my 2 cents on all the books I read in January. So I know this is a little late for a January wrap up, but we're going to do it anyway. This video is all over the place and we just started. We're literally a minute in. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to try to remember what order I read these in, but I read 7 books in January, which I feel like is pretty impressive considering I started college back up again after Christmas, obviously, and I go to UGA, so when the first day I got back was like the national championship, and then all the celebrations going on with that, and my birthday is also in January. Classes starting back up. It was really hectic, but I was really proud of myself for how much I read this month, and I want to share it with y'all. Also, please ignore my roommate and I live on literally the busiest little street ever, and cars go by every hour of the day and every hour of the night, so please forgive me. I know it's loud, probably. Our windows are not soundproof. So let's get going. So the first book I read both of these at the same time, but the first book I was reading in January is Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. And first of all, this cover is just so beautiful. I cannot get over it. So this book is obviously about 2 separate kingdoms. It's enemies to lovers. Kazi is the female main character, and she is a part of the Rattan, which is the Queen's Premier Guard. So they're like a small band of like soldiers that go out and basically like do the Queen's bidding for like their own kingdom. She ends up crossing paths with Jace, who is like, they call it like the Patre, but it's like the king of another kingdom, and it does have a lot of political aspect to it, but basically Jace's family is like the Ballingers, and the Ballingers think that their kingdom was the first kingdom to be established, and they want it to be known that their kingdom was the first one established. At first I hated the Ballingers, all of them. They kind of have the attitude that like this land is ours and blah blah blah, our land goes as far as we can see, and just kind of thought they owned everything. But there's a lot of character development, and we love that. I loved this book. I loved Jason Kazi. I gave this 5 stars. I just loved everything about it. They were just precious. I loved every minute of it. So yeah, first book of the year, and it was 5 stars. Okay, moving on. I'm scared to even hold this book in front of this camera because this is probably one of the most controversial books I have seen on social media. Like, I feel like people either love it or they hate it, like, thoroughly. And I don't want people coming at me. Like, this is just my opinion. Like, if you don't like this book, like, that's perfectly fine. But I was reading this while I was reading Dance of Thieves, and that is Credence by Penelope Douglas. I know what you're thinking. How did you like this book? I liked it, y'all. I liked it. I liked the like found family aspect of this. Like, I know it's taboo. Like, let's be real. This would never happen in real life. Probably. I mean, hopefully not. This book is about a girl named Tiernan, and this is not a spoiler, on the first page of the book, her parents both commit suicide on the first page of the book. And she was never really like loved by her parents. They were famous Hollywood parents, and she just was kind of invisible to them. And her mom's assistant was essentially the one that raised her. Long story short, after her parents pass away, she gets a call from her ex-step-uncle, her dad's stepbrother. So there's no blood relation. Y'all already know where this is going. There's no blood relation. The step-uncle has 2 sons that are a couple years older than her, and the step-uncle is younger than her dad. Y'all already know where this is going. I don't have to tell you, and I don't want to. I don't want to say that over this camera. But they like really helped her through like all her mental health struggles, and like, yeah, they contributed to a little bit of it. Don't get me wrong, but I loved the characters. I just fell in love with like their personalities. I loved them so much, and I think that was honestly my favorite part of the book, was I really loved the characters and the character development. It was top notch. But yeah, I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. So please don't come at me because I like this book. Do not come at me. Thank you. Okay, moving on from that monstrosity was when I started Twisted Love. And I really am liking the series so far. I'm only 2 books in, but I liked it. This one obviously is the first book in the series, so it's really introductory. Like, you're getting introduced to the friend group and all the girls and the characters. I liked Ava and Alex together, but I mean, I gave it 3 stars. It was a solid 3 stars, a strong 3 stars. But I really liked it. It's a brother's best friend romance, so if you like that, you'll definitely like this. It's not super long, you know, it's the shortest one in the series, obviously, because it's the first one. And it's very first book vibes. Like, don't get me wrong, it was still really good, but you could tell it's the first book of the series and there's more to come. But yeah, 3 stars. Let me consult my Goodreads. I'll be back momentarily. Oh, crap. Okay. So the next book I read was Neon Gods by Katie Robert. I gave this 2 stars. This is a Hades and Persephone retelling. It's a modern Olympus retelling type thing. I love a good spicy romance. I do. I really do. But some of this was so far-fetched and gross that I couldn't get past it. Like, if you've read this, you know what I'm talking about. Like, the spicy parts, like, they were so... they just made me feel icky. If you know what the chair is from, like, that's why. That's why I gave it 2 stars. The storyline was good. I love the modern Olympus aspect of it. I really love Greek mythology. I like reading about it. So I like the Hades and Persephone deal. I really did. But... sorry, there's a really loud truck going by. The romance was good. I liked the storyline, but the spicy parts that was so gross for me, I couldn't get past it. So 2 stars for this one. Moving on to probably the most lighthearted read I had all of January, and that is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. This was really cute. I liked the story. I gave it 3 stars because it felt kind of slow burn, and I thought I would like slow burns, but obviously I do not. So all my hopes of reading Mariana Zapata have just withered away. It was fake dating. You know, they weren't necessarily enemies, but there was fake dating. Am I just rambling for too long about this? Yeah, I definitely am. Okay, I liked it. 3 stars. The next book I read is Hooked by Emily McIntyre. I loved this book so much. I looked for this book at Barnes & Noble like 4 times that I went, and I could never, ever find it. Y'all, I don't know why I don't like ordering it, like telling the people like, hey, can you order this for me? I don't like doing that because I love the feeling of going into the bookstore and seeing the book that I want on the shelf and just picking it up and taking it home with me. That's what I love. I don't like ordering stuff. I don't know, maybe ordering will grow on me, but that's irrelevant to the story. This is like a twisted tale of, like a twisted, broken fairy tale of Peter Pan. So this is a Never After novel. It's a series of standalones, but they're all like twisted versions of stories that you heard as a child. So obviously all the characters, like Hook is the male main character, and obviously there's Wendy, and then there's Peter. I feel like I need to mention that in this book, Hook and Peter are enemies, but Wendy is Peter's daughter. I would kind of look up the trigger warnings on this because it is really graphic. Like, some of the stuff is, yeah, kind of graphic and icky. Basically, Hook he runs a drug business, and they call the drug pixie dust. You get the gist. And Peter Michaels is his enemy. So I did not like James Hook. I didn't like him at first, but just seeing how he was with Wendy was so cute. I love this. I gave this one 4 stars. A strong 4 stars. I almost gave it 5 stars. This one is really, really good. I think I'm a Emily McIntyre stan now. The last book that I read in January was Twisted Games by Anna Hung. I know everybody says that the last book is the best one in the series, and I haven't read it yet, so I can't speak on it, but it is going to be hard to beat this one because Riz Larson, y'all, I just loved it. I love this book. I loved every bit of it. Also, because my name's Bridget and her name's Bridget, like, I feel like I was meant to connect with this book. Even though she doesn't look anything like me. She literally is blonde and has blue eyes, and she's a princess, but it's okay. She spells her name the way I spell it, so that was a green flag. This is the second book in the Twisted series. This is a bodyguard romance. She's a princess. He's her bodyguard. And obviously they're not supposed to be together. And just the way he was with her, like, it was just so good. I loved it. I loved it so much. Anna Hung, you took your time writing Riz Larson because I loved him so much. And I gave it 5 stars. I loved every minute of it. I could not put it down. I was up till like 3 a.m. crying and reading this because it was so good and I didn't want it to be over. Well, these are all the books that I read in January. So stay tuned for February. Hopefully I'll be able to stay on my channel long enough to make enough videos for you guys to like them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.